Okay, this is going to be about installing a rooftop light bar using the Extreme Metal Products EMP brackets. I'm using a Nilight. I think it's a 40-inch light bar. I'll give you the link in the bottom as well as the brackets. Alright, so what you're going to need for this is you're going to need a step bit, unibit, or a 1/4-inch drill bit. Where they did the holes for the bolts on the Wolverine are too small for the 1/4-inch bolts that EMP gives you. So you're going to have to either drill them off to 1/4, or I just use a step bit. It always works out better. Now, once you do your step bit holes or your 1/4-inch holes, and you make these bigger to fit the EMP bolts, I always keep a bottle of this around. Okay, this is Rustoleum truck bed liner. I bought these little bottles off Amazon a long time ago. They have a little ball inside of them, and they're kind of like a giant nail polish bottle. You open it, it's got a brush on it with a little ball inside to shake it up. Whenever I drill a hole into any of the metal parts and leave bare metal, I always brush some of the Rustoleum bed liner on it, let it dry. Now also, these EMP brackets, really nice and thick, good quality, they fit perfectly, but they did have chips already, missing paint, so I used the same bed liner and touched up a few of the surfaces. So once you get your holes enlarged, you're going to need a 4mm Allen key, and you're going to need an 11mm socket, and then you can tighten your 4mm Allen head and your 11mm socket. Get those in on both sides. Okay. Then it was just as easy as to put the light bar up there and put in the screws it came with, but I ended up having to go with a 5/16 washer here. The washer that the Nilight comes with is almost just barely larger than the diameter of this. In fact, I see now I have black silicone all around my fingernail. So you're going to need a 5/16. It's a fender washer, but it's a smaller one. I had them laying around, so I don't have the exact number, but the 5/16 washer fit good there. Okay, then the next thing you're going to need is you're going to need one of these cable glands. I'm using a PG11 gland, an adjustable wrench, some silicone, and then I used another step bit. You're going to need to make an 18mm hole for the PG11 cable gland. And what I did was, you can see it up here. Okay, what I did with this inside, here's my hole coming through. Okay, so up here on the top, I went in to 18mm, but didn't let it go all the way through because the plastic on the roof's a little thick. So then I came back down and then went through this side again with the 18mm, and what I ended up with was a hole that was it was just tight enough that I could thread the cable gland in, and it fit nice and snug before I put the nut on the inside. So what I would suggest is, like I did, I took black silicone and I put it around the threads to the cable gland. Right here, I put black silicone on there. Then I used the unibit, made my 18mm hole, and I went from each side so the center was actually just a hair thicker. Then I thread this in from the top, and remember to put, you can take this off if you want. So that's what's going in. You thread it in until it's flush with the top of the roof. Put your nut on the inside, right here. Now I use an adjustable wrench only because this size here and the size of this nut, they don't seem to be metric, they don't seem to be American, they seem to be in between, and they're either awfully loose or way too tight. So I use an adjustable wrench. Once that's in all the way, put your nut on it to hold it into the roof, and then slide this one up over your wire. Put your wire down through the hole, and then you're going to put your cap on, and then you'll tighten it, and what it'll do is it'll seal the wire in there and make it nice and watertight, so you don't have to worry about any water getting in through the hole. And then, like I said, I put the silicone on the threads, and that's pretty much it. The The brackets are good. I'll give you the links to everything in the bottom. I've used these Nilight light bars before. They're really nice, super bright. I've never had one burn out on anything I've ever owned, so they seem to be good quality. So that'll be it for today's video. As far as running the switch for it, right now I just have the wire up here in the ceiling. I'm going to be doing a whole bank of switches in the dash. So I'm going to be running everything at once. I will do another video about running wires down from the roof. And then I will do another video about a switch panel in the dash. So we're not going to do the switch on the Nilight right now. But that's your EMP brackets with your rooftop LED light bar. Thanks.